Welcome to the Doghouse. Have a listen as we take a look at life, love, and art in all its forms. Here's your host, the rock dog, Andrew Davis.
Queer culture.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Well, interesting. It comes kind of off the heels of the story. So Jeffrey and Eric came into my shop together, and they came in a few times, and they knew that we were doing events like Kitty's Comedy Supper Club, and that I did comedy at the casino. And they kind of approached me one day. I think it was more Eric pushing you.
Yeah, what happened was Eric wanted to move back to the city, and I didn't. And so he said, well, if you're not going to go back to the city, then you have to do something here because this is making me nuts. So I said, don't get me wrong, I wasn't sitting on my ass. I had been looking after my mother for 10 years, and she had passed away. So I was now free to move on with my life. So I'm like, okay, well, he said, if you were going to do something, what would you do? And I said, I think I would like to maybe get into some event planning with Kitty. And I had, for a long time, there's a small group of gay guys in town, and they used to meet at someone's house and then once a week at a restaurant, and it was really boring. And I used to encourage these guys to just like, let's go down to the Courtney house and just like show up one day. There's going to be like a dozen of us. What are they going to do, right? Like the stripper will love it, for God's sakes, you know? So anyway, they were all afraid. They were just afraid. So I wanted to turn the biggest metal bar that we had, the butchest bar in town, I wanted to turn it into a gay bar. And so who better to ask to do that than her?
Who better?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Punk rock, no fucks given. Here we go.
Yeah.
Why not? Sounds great to me.
Yeah, so that was the birth of queer culture. We sort of, Eric said to me when we were at the shop one day, when are you going to talk to Kitty about your idea? And she said, what? And here we are.
Here you are.
Yeah, and then that was in sort of like, I guess, the summer.
Wasn't like I can't even remember the first one.
No, the first one was in November. It was November 19th because I remember it.
Yeah, because this gets...
Yeah, well, Eric found out that he had cancer October 24th. Was the day that they told him it was cancer. And they didn't tell him it was terminal yet. And so we had started the event planning rolling for this thing on November the 19th. And then Eric was supposed to go through some procedures, and one of them was a colostomy. And he was in preparation for his colostomy. He couldn't do what was required, and I had to take him into the hospital, and that's when they gave him an emergency colostomy surgery, or a colonoscopy. That's what he was supposed to have, a colonoscopy. But he ended up having a colostomy surgery, and that was on the 14th of November. And then on the 19th of November, we had our first event. So I came home for that and did that, and then ran back down to the hospital, still thinking that they were going to get this, that they were going to figure this out. And then they told us they were releasing Eric on the 24th of November, and they told us that day that it was terminal and that he was just basically going home to die. And he died on the 12th of December, early in the morning. And a few days later, I was walking down the street, and Kitty and Erica drove by, and Kitty says, Erica just had a brilliant idea, because we had just made a bunch of money.
We didn't mean to.
And neither one of us needed it, really. It wasn't, or we didn't intend to make any money. We didn't think we would. We actually said to each other, so how much are you willing to lose? Like, okay, I'll pony up this much, right? Yes. And Erica had this idea to create a bursary in Eric's name. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Hopefully, We don't lose our shirtless.
We say that every year. But this magical person that I got to meet, not nearly as many times as I should have. He aligned Jeffrey and I, us being, of course, the two stars, and encouraged Jeffrey to, approach me about doing this, and we can feel him there every time. Every time we do something, we know that, like the last event on the bridge, we knew that
Absolutely.
magic was definitely, Eric saying, you guys are doing the right thing, kids. Keep at it. So that's why it's named the Langley Parnell Bursary after Eric Langley and, of course, my grandmother. But, it was, and then, of course, Eric, he passed, and we're like, well, what do you want to do? And then everything just became about the future, and it became about helping somebody who didn't have that poor little queer kid out there that doesn't have the opportunity that,
Eric was he worked for the federal government, but he was a very creative guy, and he made wearable artwork and was into batik, and he was like a crow. He liked anything that was flashy and sparkling. And he had a studio. His studio name was Éclat, which is sparkle in French. And so we created a bursary, and we really just wanted to hear how young students plan to make the world a better place and sparkle.
Yeah.
And that's the whole meaning behind it. We give the kids the money. They can do whatever they want with. There's no stipulation. We trust them. We want them to know that there's people out there that they don't even know that are rooting for them.
Yeah.
That give a shit.
Yeah.
Because as a queer kid, you feel alone a lot of the time. You feel like this is only me.
Yeah.
And we want them to know that it's not.
We're like the queer fairy godparents. we like to, I like to think of myself as a fairy godmother. But it's when we read these entries, and it's so hard every single year, and we get more every single year, and we're reading them, and it's like they make us cry, and we're like, that's one that wins, and then we read another one, we're like, that one wins, and then by the end of it, we're like, we're going to split all the money. We'll just split the money, and then we realize that the world does not work like that. The world is not fair. The world is a very cruel place, and the difference between somebody having to get a job part-time while they go to school and not having to get a job is about $4,000. So if we can get $4,000 to a kid, they can actually concentrate on their studies for that, that semester, certainly for that semester, if not the year.
Or they could buy some fabulous shoes.
And that we're okay with, but we need picture. And so it's become a really important part of it. And we don't want to hear about getting bullied. We were bullied. Something that's happened in the gay community is that we're 50 years old in the first brick that was thrown with Stonewall.
Yep.
And now we're here. And although there's still work to be done, Jeffrey and I live on this world where every day we're proud, and we're proud of what we created, and we're proud of what we're doing for this community. And I don't want to hear about how you were bullied.
Yeah.
Everybody sucked in grade 9.
Life can be tough, but we want to, you got to put on a happy face and smile, kids.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
we throw this white party every year, and every year we get people telling us that we're racist and that we're white supremacists as we raise money for a queer kid. So it's all very interesting, and I keep thinking, and I've had people say to me, well, can't you just change the name? And I think, what kind of gay are you?
Yeah.
We threw bricks.
Right.
This is a punk rock kind of attitude where, no, it's not that easy. It's not just change the name.
Not at all.
It is, this is what it is.
Stand up.
We'll call it a denier en blanc, if that's what you would prefer. But it has nothing to do with racism. It's because everybody looks fabulous in white.
That's right.
Right.
And that's what we do.
That's what we do. So those events are all coming up again this year. We have the Wayward Distillation Party is happening. What did we call it this year?
We called it Candyland.
Candyland. That's right.
Yes.
Candyland is happening at Wayward Distillation on the Friday, the 23rd of August.
At 8 p.m.
Yeah, and
Smith Co. Company is turning that place into an absolute dreamy Candyland with signature cocktails and
that's
cool
sponsored
beats
by Victor Anisimov.
and Dominion Lending.
And yeah, and then on Saturday morning we
Yes.
have our annual. Our annual, you know this, Rock Dog.
Oh yes,
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Maybe you should describe it.
it is the drag race.
Drag race, that's right.
You put on makeup,
Yes.
then you run and you put on a wig,
Dress.
a dress, and a pair of shoes, and the first one across the finish line wins.
Yes, but not always with a broken toe.
I broke my toe 2 years in a row, and we'll go for 3 again
We're-
this year.
No,
Abs-
no.
And
Who
we'll be
needs
happy
toes?
to break your toe.
That's right. And then after that, you have to lip sync for your life.
Yes.
Yes.
This year's song is Dirty by Christina Aguilera.
Yeah. And then we're going to take whoever the queen is, they will win various prizes. It's always a good prize pack. But we're also going to give them tickets to all of our events throughout the year. They have free entry. And we're going to drag their butt up the river and throw them in the Puntledge River for the second annual fruit float.
So we've been giving out inflatables throughout the year, the last couple of years.
We have
and
some more. We'll be giving some out at the drag race.
Yes, we will. We've got. I bought 8 more.
Unicorns?
No, they're the pink flamingos.
Flamingos, yeah.
Why not? Great movie, John Waters. Why not? And so then we do the fruit float. There will be a shuttle from the drag race up to the hatchery.
Up to the hatchery, and everybody can jump in the river there.
Yep.
And then that evening, we have a very special night happening. Deja Vu is happening again at the Avalanche. We have the magnificent Carlotta Girl is coming from Vancouver, and she's going to do a couple of numbers for us. And we have E.M. Ash, a local DJ, followed by the
Da-da-da-da.
one and only J-Pod, the beat chef, who is... Well, he's my doppelganger.
He is. Jeffrey and him look exactly alike. I'm pretty sure Jeffrey's his father.
It's quite funny. I go to Base Coast and he plays there. And the first year I went, the kids are all coming up to me. They're like, are you J-Pod's dad? I'm like, what? Who? No? Who's that? And then I said, well, I would be Gay Pod.
Yeah.
So later on in the festival, he's playing his set, and I go and see him, and I'm like, oh, wow, we do look alike.
Yeah.
And then after his set, he's out dancing in the crowd with the next set playing, and he comes past me, and he goes, Daddy. And I went, J-Pod. He goes, Gay Pod. And he dances away. And so the rest is history. We've been sort of playing with this for a couple of years now. I go to Base Coast each year. And this last year was the first year I actually realized that everybody who stops me and takes my picture thinks I'm him. I thought they was just taking my picture because I'm cool and I look good. But no, that's not it at all. No, it's because they literally think I'm J-Pod. So this year, every picture that someone stopped, and as they took it, I would turn to the person and say, I'm not J-Pod.
Yeah.
And that's what they got. So
So J-Pod's a pretty huge get and costing us a shit fucking load of money.
Yep.
A shitload of money, but we're doing it because who knows if we do it again next year.
Just get it off Victor.
Well,
Get it off
He's-
Victor.
Yeah, he's good for it.
He's loaded.
He's loaded.
I'm
He's
sure
loaded. Oh my God, he's gonna.
Loaded.
if we just a couple of trips to his house, you just slip your hands in the sides of his recliner. I'm sure we'll.
I'm
Yeah,
sh-
grab the change that he's
For
got.
sure.
Probably
Exactly.
So,
the change that he loses is 50s.
Right, exactly.
right.
Well, he's going to love that we said this. He might even pay enough attention to hear it. I'm putting 25 cents on it that he doesn't. You bitch, Victor. So we're doing that. So we've got E.M. Ash and Carlotta Girl doing amazing drag performance. Then
Sunday
J-Pod,
morning.
and then
Sunday morning we have the White Party Brunch out at 40 Knot Winery.
Not Racist.
Not racist.
Not
at all,
racist.
no. It's all catered by Tria Fine Catering, who are just remarkable. And this one, Kitty is getting to take the White Party off. She'll be there, but she doesn't have to host it.
I'm not.
It's being hosted by Carlotta. She's up here for the whole weekend.
Ah.
So we're going to try something new with this. We'll be there to rescue her if anything goes wrong. But I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. And that will wrap up our Queer Culture Weekend for the summer of 2019.
And
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and if we don't go broke, we'll be giving away whatever we make.
Yeah, right.
So I've kind of made an agreement with Jeffrey. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we do. We do, of course, the trivia together at the casino. So we do Smarty Pints trivia. And if we are at a crazy deficit this year, well, it may be November that we'll be giving out the bursary, but I'm going to pad it. So
Yeah, we'll fix it.
If we're under, we're
We'll
going to
fix it. If we've overspent, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We'll
But if you were lucky enough to get tickets to the Midsummer Night's Dinner on the bridge, then you know that we're following a pretty amazing party. So
Yeah.
we're busting the bank.
Queer culture on Facebook.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Look for them.
Do lots of likes on it, lots of promotion. All tickets are available on Eventbrite. And one thing that I wanted to let people know is that so the Wayward Party is a $10 admission, and then by donation drinks. And the events at Sims Park are always all ages, and they are always free events.
Yep.
Matt Jetery will be doing hot dogs and hamburgers.
Tacos, hot dogs and tacos.
Hot dogs and tacos.
No, let's get real.
Do you get it?
I got it.
Do you know? And that's all by donation, and that goes exactly back to the bursary. And then 19 plus for, of course, the Avalanche, and we prefer 19 plus for the brunch as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, we've had.
We have, but case by case. Write us a letter.
Our
and we'll let you
sponsors
know.
brought 5 kids, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, I want to point out though that the drag race, the prize for the drag race is no small item.
Never.
We don't know what it is this year. We haven't got around to acquiring everything yet, but that doesn't take too long. However, the last 2 years we've had what was it, like $500 the first
At
year?
least
over
$500.
$600 worth of stuff last year. So
Yeah.
I do encourage people to come down and check it out. It's a lot of fun. If you don't want to race, come and watch.
I would like the tiara, a scepter, and the robe.
And the rope.
Well, then you will have to win.
I am going to win.
You're
I'm training already.
Are you?
I am.
Christina Aguilera is dirty.
Tape those toes, bitch.
The White Party will be sponsored by Cluche
By
Matthews.
Cluche Matthews, yes,
And
accounting firm in town here.
Yeah, and they are wonderful. All the tickets are available on Eventbrite, as I was saying. And the wonderful thing is what we've done, although we do have the free and all ages events, all the things that are 19 plus, if you bought tickets to every single event that we do, which is the 3 ticketed events, it comes to less than $100.
Yeah, it's $95 all total.
Yeah.
Like $10 on Friday, $25 on Saturday, and $60 for the brunch.
Yeah.
And it goes to an absolutely great cause.
Absolutely,
class.
every cent of it.
Yeah.
You've been listening to The Doghouse with Andrew Davis.